What's up, YouTube? Welcome back. So, I want to talk about the upcoming Black Panther 2 movie, particularly the casting. And it's rumored that the character Storm from X-Men is going to be a part of the Black Panther 2 movie. And, this has got, some people, especially some black women, really excited because based on the casting for the first Black Panther movie, basically all the characters are, darker skinned black folks. So this has got a lot of black women excited because they're thinking like, hey, considering the casting that was done on part one, you know, they're thinking, hey, we may finally get a, dark skinned black African Storm, which, I'm excited to see that in the movies too. Um, and it's long overdue, really, Um, but, based on Storm's portrayal in live action movies, I don't think, you know, Ollie, like, I don't even think, like, the biracial actresses who played her really got much shine out of that. So, it's not like, anything was really missed from it as much as you would think. But I think this is probably like the best movie potential for Storm, uh, you know, recently and perhaps ever, really, as far as like live action movies. Because from what I've heard, the live action movies never really portrayed Storm that well outside of the casting, but as far as like the writing is concerned, and also her powers are concerned, and her importance to the storyline, it wasn't really like, done really well. So I think this Black Panther movie would be a great opportunity to revamp Storm's character within the live action, Marvel comic universe, and as well give um, shine to darker skinned black women and allow a darker skinned black woman to play the character of Storm, which I feel like it probably will end up happening. I don't think they're going to be going with the current Storm actress, Alexandria Shipp. I don't think so. And as well, I don't know. I don't think a lot of people really like the actress in general, just her attitude, but also her portrayal of Storm, which her portrayal may be partially due to like poor writing, but also partially due to poor acting, as well. You know. And people felt that Holly Berry's performance was better, but not by much as well. Um, so, you know, I think they're more than likely. I think they're going to go with a new actress for the role, and I think they're probably, if they're smart, I think they'll probably just stick with melanated women like they did with the casting the first time around. You know, but of course, they may end up perhaps caking on the makeup a bit much extra. Making sure the hair is straightened, that sort of a thing. But I think, nevertheless, I think they'll go with a darker skinned woman. I think so. I think that they're smart enough to do that. But if they were to go with a biracial actress again, sadly, it wouldn't surprise me. But I think they probably should just, stick to the formula that they kind of have going at the moment. Um, but hopefully, they get it right. Hopefully, they can get this right. And hopefully, this will be a step in the right direction for the character Storm in general, right? Some people are kind of hoping that a spin-off movie may happen, which is a possibility. I mean, I mean, if someone gave the green light to that Phoenix movie that just came out, I'm like, okay, Storm can definitely get her own movie if they can give a movie to that. All right. And don't get me wrong, the Dark Phoenix, like the Phoenix slash Dark Phoenix saga, is a really good storyline, you know. But that movie, like from the previews, I knew that movie was going to be terrible. I didn't think it was going to bomb as bad as it did. But nevertheless, yeah, I saw that coming from a mile away, which is sad. I really do think they need to just, at this point, either create an animated series that really goes into the Dark Phoenix story, or just do a live action miniseries that goes into the Dark Phoenix story, like the whole Phoenix saga. But another story for another day. All right. So long story short, I think it's possible, considering, I guess, the fanfare that this actress Storm, they'll be watching the fanfare that she gets, and if she gets enough, perhaps they may consider doing some sort of a X-Men movie that's centered around Storm. She may not be the only X-Men in the movie, but it'll perhaps be very much Storm centered, like how the Dark Phoenix and Phoenix Saga is very much Jean Grey centered, right? But still have other people in the mix too, right? So I'll talk a little bit about Storm's character in general for a brief moment. So, like Storm, I believe her character came around in perhaps like the 70s. She wasn't a part of the original cast, but she is a part of the iconic X-Men cast, and as well, she is an iconic superhero character as well, just in general, as well, especially for women, especially for like Black women, because like think about, like, name some Black female superheroes. You can't really name that many. Storm will probably be the first one that comes to mind, and then afterwards you'll be thinking for a good minute, like, a couple of Power Rangers. There have been, there've been some Black female Power Rangers every now and then, every now and then. But yeah. So yeah, like Storm, she came about in the 70s. I think they created her to be somewhat of like a low-key kind of like pro-Black character, I believe. I don't think they ever made her like a swirler, quote unquote. Although, if Storm were to get her own movie and there were to be a love triangle between like Storm and the Black Panther, I think that, okay, you could add another dude into the mix that's not Black. Like, say, Wolverine or Gambit, and she can still end up with the Black Panther in the end, because that would be canon for the storyline anyway. But it'd just make the Black Panther have to put in a little work. And I know some Black women are like, Black King ain't got to put in work to get me. Black King, this is free all day for you, baby. Come and get this red light special. I ain't gonna swirl, no, 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 no. I'd rather die alone than be forced to go to Swirltopia. Black King, Black King. It won't mean a thing if it ain't my Black King. So, yeah, all right. But again, if there were to be a love triangle in the movie, I think that would be a good way to work the love triangle. But again, another story for another day. All right. So yeah, Storm, her character was, I believe, kind of meant to be somewhat of a low-key pro-Black character. As well, her character actually is at least a part-time nudist. That was never carried outside of the comic books, though. But in the comics, she was like a nudist. Like she very much uh, walked around without clothes on occasions. Very much free. And I guess that would kind of go with her, like kind of like Mother Nature-y type of vibe that she has because she controls the weather, right? um, but yeah, I think you know for Storm, I think she like her character overall, at least in the comics and the animated series, the '90s one that aired on Fox. I think that was pretty well done. Um, you know, she was like a bit of a mammy, but not overly. Just enough where it was just like, okay, she's just perhaps a motherly type, a little bit, right? And as well, she's the most iconic black character in the X-Men story as well. And usually when it comes to like these token characters for superhero movies and comics and TV shows and whatnot, usually they do go to black men. So Storm was you know given the token role, and was able to, like, her character, it was able to become very much iconic, from that token role, you know. And her character doesn't oftentimes come off like completely as a token, really. You know, she is very much significant to many storylines, and she has like powers that are useful. She doesn't seem to. Well, sometimes they do kind of nerf Storm, in some adaptations. But I would say in the original adaptation or portrayal of her, no, you know. And in regards to Storm being a kind of low key pro black character, right? Because often, like her character was kind of born during that whole like Black Panther, post civil rights era. I think it was the '60s or the '70s, one of the two. But kind of like in that time era where like the civil rights movement in was active, and like Martin Luther King and Malcolm X were active. So it may have been the '60s actually, but nevertheless, yeah. And her character again was paired up with the Black Panther as part of that pro-black type of vibe and feel to it, right? So they didn't make her a swirler, even though white folks put her on, white men particularly put her on, but they didn't make her a swirler, right? But she got the option to swirl if she chooses. All right. No. But me personally, I was actually introduced to Storm via the '90s Fox Kids, like X-Men animated series. Like that was the first time I was introduced to X-Men. Period. Was that television show that aired in the '90s, right? And like a lot of people do like that cartoon series that aired in the '90s, and oftentimes feel like that's the best portrayal of X-Men outside of the comic books, even better than the movies. And I think I will agree with that. I think overall that portrayal got it the best, right? Um, you know. And by the way, I forgot to mention, but Storm does have an interesting backstory as far as her like lineage is concerned, because she is actually, part African American and part Native African, right? So she's kind of like low key, part ADOS too, through her dad, and she is part Native African through her mom. So it's a lot of different interesting little factoids and um, information trivia about Storm out there, you know. But I'm going to bring this video to a close. But before I do bring this video to a complete close, I want to show some, you know, uh, highlights of Storm from the '90s animated series X-Men that aired on Fox Kids. And Shout out to the YouTube user Pluto Planet Power for making and posting this video as well. So, let me know what you guys think in the comments section. Until the next video, adios and goodbye for now.
Because I can control the weather, they call me Storm. Storm, mistress of the elements, commands you to release that child.
Lighten up on the speeches, sugar.
Swirl, mighty winds, and carry us to Jean. Wind and water, whirl and rage. Nature, I command you, bring forth thunder and lightning.
I summon the full power of the storm!
Arctic cold will cool their ardor. Wind, heed my command! I summon the cold of the Arctic winds!
I'm freezing in here!
You will see them as well as the mist rises.
What can we do? It's impervious to our weapons!
He has not yet felt the force of the elements! Hail! Fill the skies with rocks of ice!
Increase the cold! Maybe we can crack the superstructure!
From the ends of the earth, send limitless cold upon him! Controlling the dirt is nothing to one who commands wind and rain! Cyclops! Be gone! I summon the cold of the Arctic winds! Wind! Repel him! A whirlwind shall help you effect a rescue! I summon the Arctic winds! Lightning! Deliver this place from darkness! Winds rise and sweep the thorns from our path! I command the Sahara winds! Transform this ice to steam!
My arm! Blast you!
I believe that pleasure is mine! Wind, howl and raise the sands of the desert! Nature, respond to my command! A war of rain to quench the flames! Ice, snow, vent your fury!
You can't do this to me.
Wind, rise up! Protect me! Whirlwind, deliver them! I call upon the power of the hurricane!
Hang on, sugar.
Mutant, you command the winds. Do you also command the cold?
Yes.
The deepest cold held Omega Red prisoner. Perhaps it can still stop him.
What? No!
Forces of nature's cold, freeze!
Fools! When will you...
Storm! Your cold hurt him! Now! With all your strength!
Ice!